All right, all right. It is 6:30. I am on time today. It is Tuesday, and my system works. About friggin' time, right? I don't have to hold this with the hand, and you don't have to see my big forehead, and I can show you the charts a little bit more clear. Isn't that cool? My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. This is the 6:30 Club, where me and my dogs around the world, we go over some charts, go over some potential cash flow situations. We discuss the obsessions of the media, what's happening in the tape, and have a few laughs here and there and work on our process. Cheers to you for tuning in. It is a little hot today. I switched it up from a t-shirt to a sweatshirt. Got my little T3 sweatshirt. There we go. Let's see who's in the house first. We got It's in the house. What up, what up? How you doing? It's a little sweaty in here. Who else we got? We got San Francisco. It's early over there. What up, Mail Pack? What up, Nebraska? We got Queens in the house. We got Belmore. You've been around all the time, huh? Tequesta, a teaching job. What up, Brooklyn? How you doing? Cash is king. Sometimes it is, right? Yesterday, back and forth 4 or 5 times. I feel like my friends who are short lost money. My friends trying to play a bounce having a hard time. All in all, not a little choppy session, right? What up, Caracas? What up, Raleigh, North Carolina? We got the Bronx. We got Exeter. You know, I like to see the consistency. I see a lot of the same names tuning in. That means they have a process, a routine where they're, getting prepared for the day so they can execute with confidence. That's the only way you make money in this market. What up, Canada? A foot of snow? Jesus Christ. In SUNY Binghamton? It's supposed to be springtime. Actually, my friend's son, they just went to check out Binghamton. Great school, very smart. And if you're from New York, you know what? It's a bargain. What up, Dix Hills? I grew up in Syosset, Mumbai, someplace I've never been. I might come there one time. What up, Canada? How you feeling? Actually, this is a really bad song to be playing at this state of the world. Alexa, off. We don't like what's happening there, especially with the invasion of Ukraine taking another leg, a different leg of the war as Russia now invades Donbass. What up, Peacekill? How you doing? What up, GP? I'm doing a Ragnar this year. If anybody wants to come meet us, we're doing a Ragnar in Southern California in November. I'll list the date. 8 of us are going to be traveling. We're going to be going to California to do a 24-hour race. So we have something cool to train for all summer to keep me sane, to keep me honest, so I'm not drinking too much during the course of the week. That's what these races do. They keep me honest. They keep me on the path. If you need something to get yourself balanced to look forward to, put a race on the schedule. Yes, a race. It's only April 19th. Put a race on the schedule in June and July, and all of a sudden, you eat a little less, you eat a little healthy, and then your mind gets right. There we go. Anyway, let's get going. So what's happening right now? The futures are down, I don't know, about 7-8 handles. How'd you like that yesterday, right? At 355, all of a sudden the SPYs are down 3 points and they go green, and then they take it another $1.50 after hours. It's like these freaking computers are all wired for craziness. One Fed speaker, oh my God, Fed speaker. Anyway, it's like little doggies. So where are we at? So here's a chart of the S&P cash. I have the S&P cash up there, nice and clean. So it feels like we're hanging here by a thread. Right? Hanging by a thread. If you remember the good old days, which was only about, not even a month ago, when we started to have an active sequence to the upside where we were holding 15 to 20 positions where stocks for 2 weeks, you could buy them, hold them, massage them, play with them. Doesn't sound like stocks. But anyway, from 43.35 all the way to 4600 was a nice sequence. That's what built my first quarter profits, which we just got paid on. Anyway, tax day. What a friggin' pain in the ass. I don't know what everyone on TV is saying, but I paid all in 52% in taxes. Okay, and I'm not a billionaire. I'm just friggin' a guy who lives in a nice area, and I'm probably the bottom 25% of Short Hills. So, right now, 6-figure checks on tax day. Anyway, I guess they say you're lucky to pay taxes. That means you had a good year. Bullshit. They better not raise any more taxes. So anyway, what are we doing here? We're holding 43.70. 43.70 is yesterday's lows. This is kind of where we broke out from. If I put my retracement rules in, it's kind of a little bit around 50%. And to think about it, all we've retraced is 50% of this move, while you have the invasion of Ukraine taking a turn for the worse, where the next 2 weeks could get friggin' very just crazy. Hopefully it doesn't. You have high rates making higher highs yesterday. You had natural gas hitting I don't even know how many year highs. Then you have different companies coming out like Netgear and pre-announcing, and then you have fertilizer price, a lot of geopolitical headwinds out there, or even just macro narratives that are pretty bearish against equities. And here we are, only at 43.70. Is it a false sense of security where risk happens fast, or are we hanging here to continue to get smacked and absorb these headlines for then better action in a month from now, maybe post earnings? We'll see. But for now, I'm keeping it tight. I'm trying to have a little less positions, more one-off positions. I haven't been sitting in names like a Tesla and an Amazon and an Apple like I did during this run. Every sequence is kind of different. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Do we hold 43.10 today? The Qs have been somewhat of a headwind. Okay, it actually came in further than that. If you look here, this day was your day that ended this active sequence in my head. Then you had a gap down that never got filled to show power to the downside. So what did we do yesterday? We put a low in at 335.79. So yesterday, though, the thought process here was AMD and NVIDIA and the semis have been leading tech down, that if AMD and NVIDIA can go green, maybe Qs can go green. So I know for me, in the first 15 minutes, I made a lot of money. I was at the highs of my day by 9:44. Did anybody catch NVIDIA, AMD, the Qs to go green? Because that was the thought process. Every day there's a different thought process in the morning on how to make some tactical cash flow if the market's not in a position for us to be sitting in massive positions. So let's see what right now the Qs are. Qs are down only 60 cents at 338. So the Qs are basically above this spot. This is yesterday's high. What you don't want to do. I was spot on yesterday. There you go. I'm consistent. I've been doing this for 22 years. That's why you deal with me. Anyway, it was a good trade. And then there was a lot of back and forth. And by the end of the day, I gave back 85% of my day. So I'm not trying to brag. I'm just trying to say, I'm like, midday, I'm like, don't overtrade. I'm talking to all of you on Twitter. I'm talking to myself because I'm trying to, made more than an average day in the first 14 minutes because it happened to work out that way. So anyway, so this is 335.79. I would think that, potentially there's a trade to go green again. What's AMD doing this morning? It was only down 40 cents before. Now it's down 29 cents. I would think that there could be a little bit of a push there again. Most sectors are broken, but look at the Qs, look at the SPYs to, and then, if you want to look at Tesla, everyone's like, what about Tesla, Red Dog? What are you doing with Tesla? What are you doing for earnings? You know what? I haven't done anything yet for earnings. Earnings are on Wednesday. We're holding this range. Yesterday, they tried to beat down 973 and it held. Ultimately, for a growth name, and this is the poster child for growth names, it's hanging in there really well. One of the things holding me back from taking a big call spread into Wednesday's numbers, because if you remember, the deliveries weren't that great. They were solid, but for a company that trades, what does Tesla trade with? A PE of like 71 and needs to be priced for perfection to get to the upper end of the range. A lot of these names are down 50%. Like if you look at Netflix, I'm just saying a different story. It's down 50% from the highs, which we'll get into. It's going to have to be an awesome report with flawless, So I'm thinking it maybe won't be. So why am I going to, put on a call spread that can cost me 20 grand? Even though those call spreads could cost you 20 grand to make 80, I'd rather just wait for the print and trade it. We'll have our numbers priced out and we'll be there doing it. So I might not do an option play. Because also I think in this quarter, it's going to be, first quarter was a good quarter. We had that sequence. This quarter is going to be harder. That if all of a sudden you play 4 or 5 different option plays and you throw 20 grand here, if you lose 100 grand, it's a little harder to make that back in this type of tape right now. So I'd rather maybe play afterwards, so we'll see. So anyway, this is the range. For now, I looked at Tesla before. It was flattish with everything being down. It's only down 24 cents. So it's smack in the middle of the range. Not much to do there. So we'll see. I did see something on Apple today. They did say that even with the Shanghai lockdown, with a third of the damn country, that the biggest Apple, whatever you want to call it, university that creates the iPhones, it's working. A lot of people thought that it was offline. So maybe Apple's worth a look today because Apple has been pretty much weaker since all of the COVID scenario popped back up in China because obviously they manufacture a lot of their Apple goods there. So anyway, this was yesterday. So what was yesterday's low? Yesterday's low was 163.57. So maybe Apple is worth a look, versus a low to go green for a trade. It's pulled in a decent amount, right, from from 179. It broke its upper flag right here, so maybe there's a trade versus 163. This also is acting a little bit better than most things. Some guys like Red Dog, are you going to trade Netflix? Yeah, Netflix, whoa, what a friggin' battered and bruised name. So this is going to be interesting, though, to see. Though, look, from 700 down to the low here yesterday of, what is this? This is 331. So Netflix has already been cut in half. I really have no FOMO here, no nothing here. You could take some kind of call spread because maybe it's solid, maybe it's less than feared, maybe they announce a buyback, but they're going to probably need their money to expand their budgets for different series. They didn't have any awesome series in the last quarter. I know a lot of people watched what was that? Inventing Anna. That was pretty cool. The girl from Ozarks. She went from being, someone on a lake to so basic. Anyway, I thought that was good. I don't usually watch that kind of stuff. I usually watch Spartacus, Vikings. Vikings Valhalla is a great series. You don't even have to watch all of the first Vikings. And The Last Kingdom with Uhtred, he's my man. Anyway, so this is Netflix. I'm not going to take a call spread. I'd almost rather say, here, take a look at the weekly chart. Let it disappoint. Let it get battered and bruised. And then maybe if Ackman comes in again, let's buy it with him down here, around 250. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying, by the way, look how pretty this looks. It doesn't look pretty, but gave you reasons to be at it on the weekly chart. Technically, look how it broke this upper flag. That was when Netflix finally said, hey, I'm no longer a special name. I'm no longer a chosen one. I'm no longer a momentum name. Broke right there. So anyway, it is hovering. It's expecting nothing. So if you want to play it, play it. I'm not going to play it. I'll play it after hours. Maybe I'll play it the next day. But, I'm not throwing 5 to 8 grand at this thing just in case it gets an oversold bounce back towards the upper end of the range. I'd rather see maybe something happens. And then on Wednesday, if it's lower, I could play it to go from red to green and have something a little bit different. So, and then you have IBM. I did take a call spread in IBM. Doesn't mean you guys should follow me on it, but I did take it. Look at this channel. It's been in the channel literally. This is July 2015. It's done absolutely nothing for 7 years. And if you look back on the monthly chart, IBM's done absolutely nothing literally since 2012. It's been in a descending channel, finally held a little bit here. So maybe, IBM, if money, it's like, what's IBM P? It's a forward P of 12. If money wants to hide in some kind of value tech, maybe this will be a spot that finally, gets better. But again, it hasn't proven it yet. It's stuck here, but that's interesting. So anyway, those are the things. Yesterday, guys are like, Red Dog, what's the matter with you? Why are you shorting the UNG? I'm like, you know what? Sometimes my antenna goes off, and I'm like, you know what? I could take advantage of this point of the range just because this is a little bit extended in my humble opinion. Yes, do I like playing breakouts? You should have been buying the UNG here or at 1950 or when it took out the prior high here of 2210. Okay, but up here, you're having a little bit of this pain trade going on. So I bought some puts for 2 weeks out during the move higher, and then finally when you had that stretch and it pulled $1 in lunchtime and it felt like the fever broke, I shorted some UNG and now it's down 60 cents. I covered a little bit this morning just to cover, and then I would think this gap gets filled the 8 days all the way down there. So it's just the reverse of the other trade. DP said he was long via 27 puts. Well, DP, David Prince, love him. David Prince actually went with me to the Ukraine in August to teach 100 traders how to approach the markets. There's a lot of guys that trade the markets here. They all want to learn technicals. I was there 4 times. First time I was there in 2014, all they did is smoke cigarettes and drink a lot of vodka. I turned them into a racing machine where now they've all been trading for 10 years because they brought fitness and balance into their lives, and now they're not even trading. They're in the National Guard. Actually, what do they call it? I was talking to them yesterday. So my friends that were trading 3 months ago, okay, that's what they were doing. They were trading 3 months ago. Now, what are they called? They are called, hold on one second. Pretty cool name though. Hold on. They are called, because I was asking where a lot of them went to Tashkent to trade. Some of them went to other places. What the hell? I thought it was, imagine all of a sudden, like, even us, like someone's trying to invade the U.S. and then all of a sudden you get put on the, let's see, what's it called? Damn it. You guys know the name of it? They are called, Jesus, what the hell are they called? Oh, they're called territorial defense. So they were not actually in the military when this all happened, but all the civilians that are still in Kiev, a lot of them are in Kiev, they're called territorial defense, which means that they walk there and they protect the streets of Kiev and whatever city they're in. And literally 2 months ago, they were hanging out with their kids, they were going to restaurants, they were doing vacation stuff, maybe buying another apartment, being a lot like the US here. So that's why sometimes when you pay your taxes here, you're like, okay, at least I won't get invaded by Russia. That's about all that the freaking US does for us. No, I'm kidding, they do a little bit more than that. But anyway, let's get away from that. Let's not get all political here, and get back to a few other things here. So nat gas, maybe the UNG gets down to 25.64 and fills that gap. That'd be nice. That means we make some decent money in our options, and I'm short the stock. I've already covered some of it, down 60 cents. What else? You know, oil's down. Just be careful with the XLE. The XLE has had a really nice run, and although I am in OXY, I'm in Oxy. I don't take Oxy. I just trade it. Anyway, don't take Oxy. You can get hooked on it. So when I had my back surgery, they were very, very strict on how many painkillers you could have. They didn't want you to get hooked up or hooked on. 81.50. Okay, so like just this is a long rally, you know, and it's pretty damn crowded. So make sure you just keep pushing your stops up. So if you were long the XLE, I would say, you know, you could have 77 as your stop. I'm long Oxy, and you know, it's having a hard time getting above this 62 and staying above it. But I'm going to keep my stop down here at 57 just in case. And lastly, I think, you know what a good sector for you guys to buy? It's not a barn burning sector, but last week I bought the Jets, not the football team, the sector ETF, because like you see today, the airlines are starting to lift the mask mandates, et cetera, et cetera. To me, the ETF had a nice little breakout move. I got involved somewhere right around here, then it broke out. You could have sold some strength, and I bought a little back yesterday, and I'll buy a little bit more. I'd rather just buy the sector instead of an actual airline, just in case something, God forbid, happens with one of their planes. You know, yes, the sector will go down, but the actual company that it happened to will go down a hell of a lot more. So I do think at some point, you know, it could fill this void when, you know, the reopen trade really gets into focus. Because a lot of people are fine going on vacation, doing things. Even Dan Niles, Mr. Bear, on TV yesterday said he went on his first vacation in 3 years. Mr. Bear, Dan Niles. Anyway, I'm not going to talk smack about anyone, right? You have to be nice to be nice. But guy's usually bearish. He's been bearish on Apple, I think, for what, 3 years? Anyway, so I think the Jets is something that you could buy on dips and just play around with, and ultimately net goes higher. You just can't buy strength. All right, guys, it's 6:48. Hope everyone's well. I can't get my little Twitter thing back here because I was trying to get you that, from talking to my friends. The market's definitely been a little trickier. Oh, look at now, Tesla's up 270. That means probably, I bet you the SPYs are, going from, SPY's only down 90 cents. So I have a feeling this morning, too, you're going to be able to play the market from red to green. Too much money got applied in the last 3 minutes of the market yesterday, where they gunned the SPYs, gunned the Qs, and they were both up after hours. What would I do with Twitter? Well, Twitter, I have some $50 calls, 2 or 3 different strikes. It's down a little bit today. Yes, there was some news that I think Apollo Group's going to help with the bid. Either which way, it was strong yesterday. I think the best way to play Twitter now is a call spread. The deal probably doesn't get done too much above 55, maybe 60. So if there is a deal, maybe you want to be long the 50s and sell like the 57 halves. So this way you can make a double on your options if the deal happens, if you want to participate. But if something goes crazy and nuts and all of a sudden it falls all apart and Milan sells his stake, which I don't think he's going to do, you don't want to be sitting in the stock because you can get crushed. At least if you put on a call spread for Twitter, the risk is premium paid. Say that 10 times, because options are a great vehicle to help you define your risk. Not all options are risky, even though about 95% of options go worthless. That's why at times I do sell naked puts and naked calls, but that's only when I want to be short or long something at a lower price into a very oversold situation. We're not going to talk about that now. So anyway, wow, it's a little hot in here. Hope everyone's feeling well. Have a good trading day. Maybe today is a little bit less back and forth and random. And if you do make your money like we made yesterday in the first 14 minutes of the day, keep it. Say, I'm going to risk a third. You lose a third, go jump on the Peloton and go run up a hill. And if Forget about how much you think you could have made the rest of the day and just keep it and keep netting it every day so it adds up so you can get a paycheck. Yes, that's what you do if you actively trade for a living. You look for a paycheck. If you're an investor, you know what? Just put your money in every single month in an S&P fund and keep doing it. Long term, the bull market does win. And anytime we do get 10% off the highs in the S&P, 15 or 20%, then you know what? Put an extra monthly inflow in, and that's how you get your alpha. But if you want to trade stocks and charts and names, you better have a tier system, you better have a process, and you should be on the alpha team where I have 500 guys all day long listen to me talk on the radio, and you know, we go about the world together and have a good time. And at this point, I got to go mark up about 40 charts and get it ready so I can post it on the alpha team. I can post it to Redler All Access. But for you guys, thanks for tuning in. I thank everyone from all the clans collide. So I love doing it in the morning. Cheers.